My name is Marquise Denzel Gregg. That's my full name. And I've been in foster care for about, like, a give or take 14 years of my life. I aged out of the system, actually. It was very long. My time in foster care was very long, very tiresome.
My name is Ashley Racino Javel. I'm 23 right now. I entered foster care when I was 13. From there, I went to about 5 foster homes. And in between, I was actually at residential treatment centers.
My name is Sierra. I'm 25. I came into foster care when I was 8 years old, about 8.5. I come from a family of 10. At the time, I was a part of a family of 8. And my mom and my dad were single parents, and it just got extremely hard when I entered into the foster care system.
Well, it started off with foster homes, and then it transitioned to group homes, and then, psych wards, like PIW. Only because of different, things that I was going through in my life, it wasn't always the foster system. It was more like my parents, me and my mother was getting into it. My mother was very abusive to me. So growing up, all you seen was bruises and marks. And of course, when you go to school at that age and you got all these marks and bandages on you, CPS gets called, mother fighting principals and stuff. It's very a lot at a young age. So, it's a lot of toughness to take on also.
So I came into foster care when I was 12 and 13 due to physical abuse from my parents. I actually never grew up with them. I was left in El Salvador from age 1, so I never actually met my parents until I got here. And my mom, she already had some mental health going on with her, which I think affected her, and then she kind of took her anger out on me. And the school called social services came, and CPS, and then they put me into the foster care system. When I was actually in foster care, I used to run away a lot. And social services, my social worker said I was kind of like a danger to myself because I would run away. And they put me in a treatment center in Baltimore. And there, my behavior got really bad. I started fighting, so they had to put me into a more secure place. There, I fought even more, and they kept me there for like at least 3 years. And I finally got my act together. I was discharged successfully, stepped down to a group home. The group home, it was kind of like treatment centers because it was a bunch of girls. And I would fight there too, eventually, because I turned 18 and the girls were younger, so I couldn't fight any of them because I could get in trouble.
I was in a couple foster home settings, like just regular, a couple therapeutic, and then I was in some guardianship homes as well, like with the thought process. This is when they pushed guardianship versus adoption, because I was from a bigger family, and the goal wasn't reunification because my parents had their rights terminated.
So like I was saying earlier, PIW is like one of the places that I've been to. It's a place where you go for youth that's like acting out, and it's a great place to get a kid on this medicine if they taking medicine, or to get a person away from like hurting themselves, hurting others. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not just no place for an average person to go. You gotta have some issues going in there. So yeah, I could say my time in those places was very, very, very annoying. And it was just, after getting out and going back into like a group home, and then going back into like a foster home, then transitioning all over DMV, and yeah, the furthest I've been out was Baltimore. So yeah, it's very a lot.
I have a brother. He has autism, and he was actually raised by my parents, so there was nothing like abuse going on with him. I still keep in contact with him. We talk like every day. He likes wrestling. So he texts me like when the wrestling people will like come to the city because he wants to go see it. So we still keep in contact. When I was in foster care, I actually didn't have a phone of my own, so it was hard for me to contact him. And any chance I would get, I would call him to make sure he's okay. Usually not having that connection with my brother, I felt really bad, not just for him, but for myself, because when I was home, I would play around with him. And now that I'm no longer with him, I feel like I missed so many years with him and still trying to, get to like that connection that I had before I left. And even when I was in a foster home, I actually went to school with him to a high school. We went to a school together. And because he is autistic, the other kids used to pick on him, and I used to like be the big sister who would like stop them, and I tried my very best not to fight them. So I felt bad, really bad, when I couldn't keep in contact with him. But now that I have a phone and he has a phone, we keep in contact every day.
So it is 7 of us total. I'm second oldest. No, none of my siblings were actually in foster care with me. However, right now, I actually have a sister that's in foster care right now due to the same reasons why I went to foster care. My mother is back at it again, sadly. So, that's just very, sad in my life right now. So I can't stop being in contact with them now. I mean, after going through that and actually hearing my sister is now in the same system, it freaks me out, because my sister is, she's a teenager. She's yeah, it's very stressful. It's like you can't really tell a teenager nowadays what to do. It's like trying to tell wall to move. You're not getting that wall to move. So it's that I have to worry about also, but just more of preparing my siblings for like the real world, because my mom, she didn't really give them the lessons about the real world, and in foster care you're gonna learn them lessons about the real world. So being that me, it was very interesting to know that I could save one of my siblings. I can actually see one of my siblings and actually get to tell them some real stuff about the system.
Before I transitioned out of foster care, I was in independent living. So I was like, I'm not doing foster homes anymore. I decided that I just didn't need it. I needed foster care for a place to live and not for a person to raise me anymore. And so I found out about independent living, and then I got into an independent living program, and then I aged out like that. When I first aged out of foster care, it was extremely hard. I was homeless. Like, I knew that I was gonna have somewhere to stay eventually, but in all actuality, you don't age out like when you're 21. I think you age out like a month before like your actual like 21. And so like I didn't have anywhere to go for like, my birthday's in November, so like around that time it was like Christmas and New Year's, and I didn't have anywhere to go until February of the next year. So I was homeless from like August until February, and it was extremely hard. I was living in a homeless shelter. Like, it was really bad for me. I had people in my life, but I didn't have anybody in my life who could help me with housing. And that is the one thing that like sets different things apart. Like, even if when like you have a youth that's in care and you have them in a setting like independent living, you should tell them about different services and stuff that they need when they leave. Care and housing is the number one thing.
So after I stepped down to a foster home from the group home, I was at the foster home maybe a few months until they actually found an independent living program for me. The independent living program was in Rockville. I was there for 2 years, and they actually helped us a lot. So they helped us with cooking, savings, transportation, After the program, they found a housing voucher program for me. I found my own apartment, currently living in PG County, and I've been in that program for about 2 years now, and my last year is actually next year. So after that, I would actually be on my own, which I don't mind because how the housing voucher works is based on your income. And right now, I'm kind of making a lot, so I'm kind of paying full rent now. So it's been helping me to get ready to actually pay full rent. And when I went into the housing program voucher, I knew I was going to be completely independent because I no longer had social workers. I was no longer involved with social services. I'm currently in therapy, so I do have a mentor, and she teaches me different things because I don't know how to cook. So she teaches me how to cook, and we do different things. Also, she knows that I don't like being by myself, being independently, because she knows, and I also feel that I'm not fully ready yet. I'm still learning a lot, so sometimes it can become very stressful. And when I do get stressed, I usually call my parents, my foster parents, and stay with them.
So my last placement was actually inside of a group home. I aged out of the group home to go into like another, like a facility that was more meant for like independent living. The process with that was very tedious. Being in a situation like group homes, they don't like prepare you for other people. So I didn't have a lot of my stuff moving out of that group home because it was stolen. So, when you have that stuff to worry about, it was very, very annoying. And I got it through. When I moved to my independent living space, I actually wound up moving to 3 different ones. The first one actually was nice. I had a roommate. Let me just say it was quite persistent and kept like trying to make sure that my day was just very, very just upsetting, not going so well. He'll eat my stuff. He'll drink my stuff. I'll come home, the refrigerator just open. I'm like, what is you doing? The 2 after that were actually a lot more better. My last placement, before I had to move into my mom's house, the last placement was on Wayne's Place, and it was very nice. I had my own spot, I had my own actual area, and it was very comfortable.
It would have been different for me if I was in a home because I feel like I would actually felt that family connection and would have been able to do family stuff with them other than the group home or independent living program because you're on your own and you don't really have anybody. Even though they're helping us become independent, they're helping the rest of us, so I didn't have the one-to-one connection.
I was in foster care in D.C. and Maryland. And so over like 8 years, I've been in about like 30 homes or so.
I actually wanted to go to a family because I never actually got the love from my parents, so I thought, maybe I can find it with a different family. And because of my age, nobody actually wanted like a, older kid. So they just put me into the independent living program, so I can find, ways to help me once I'm actually on my own. My current connections are a previous foster family I had. I've been with them since 2017. And they actually, even though it's not in papers, they've actually kind of adopted me. So they call me their daughter. They put me in like Christmas ornament names with like the family. So I feel really close to them, like I'm a family with them. So it's a family, the mom and the dad and the 3 kids they have, and I also get along with their siblings very well. I usually see them a lot. 2 of them live here, and then the daughter, my sister, she lives in South Carolina, and every year we usually go see her.
I met my mentor when I was 19 or 20. Yeah, 19 or 20, and honestly, I was not looking for a mentor at all. I just happened to go to one of the events, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and we were making some nasty green stuff, and we just hit it off. And ever since then, like, we've been so close. He literally moved 5 minutes away from our house, like my apartment. Just like, we're so close. When I go to the doctor, it's to this day, he still takes me to the doctor, even though I can get there myself. It's just that relationship that we had, that like when he goes out of town, I dog sit and house sit for him. These are like things that you do with your family, and, you know, not just friends, but your family, people who you trust to, you know, watch your home, have the security codes to your house, things like that, like, that I've never actually experienced before. So it's kind of dope.
I've been out for 4 years, and it's been very difficult, honestly. A lot of reasons why I say it's been difficult is because I didn't get the support that I was told that I was going to get. I didn't get help with being put into like a program or schools. No one told me about different schools, or I didn't have the right help. If anything, I think I paid attention to more of the things that were what I wanted instead of someone telling me what I needed. And my options was like very, very limited. So after aging out, it was like I had to learn from everything I was taught in foster care and then combined it with the new stuff I'm being taught at the moment. It was very conflicting. I mean, a lot of times I had meltdowns. A lot of times I had broke down, couldn't move. A lot of places where I was just at the house sleeping all day. It was just like real hectic. And you know, after like getting past it, you know, trying to grasp more energy to push past the days, make sure the days are like way different from the last day. And it's hard, you know, it's real hard. But I've heard a lot of kids who actually did age out. I actually know a couple of them, and it's really annoying because when they talk to me about their life and what they went through, they got a nice little spot. They got taken care of. I'm just like, you was in the same system I was.
If I had an adoptive family or just a family that I aged out with, I probably would have not been like socially awkward. Like, I'm a people's person for sure, but being around too many people is very weird for me. My interactions with people aren't that great, because like of the family structure that I never really had. And since independent living, I've learned how to like just like be to myself and by myself. So basically just like understanding like the basic family setting, and like even like trying to create relationships, and not just housing, but like create relationships or doing different things like that, it would have been way different, I think.
It's important to have permanent life connections because for example, me, when I aged out of foster care, I thought I was going to be completely on my own. And thanks to the previous foster parents I have now, they've actually helped me a lot. And if I don't have money, they'll lend me money. If I need a ride somewhere, they'll give me a ride. And they actually take me out to like events, so they don't always leave me out of things. So I go with them, and they can help you with anything like cooking, they will even teach more life skills. So it's very important to have somebody so you don't feel like you're alone. I think it's important for social workers and social workers agencies to recruit more families, because for my experience being in group homes or treatment centers, I actually didn't get the one-to-one connection. So with families, you know, you can do really anything with them, from going like on outings, vacation trips. You know, they can take you to school, bring you back. So basically, it would be like having a real family that you never had, and do things that you would do with them instead of being stuck in a home with other kids, because sometimes it can be very chaotic.
It is important for youth to have permanency, because without it, you really don't have like a balance. I've seen it in my own relationships, friendships. I'm a godmother now, and so trying to understand really how to be a parent once you've never really know how to be a child is very difficult. And not having anybody and only resorting to yourself. It's like, as an adult, it's super hard when you want to ask for help, but you don't know how because all you know how to do is make it work for yourself. It's more than just having somebody to go through things with you. It's like the reality of things. Like, if I didn't meet my mentor, I would not know how to file taxes. Like, these are basic needs and necessities that some of us do not know because we don't have anybody to tell it to us.
I feel like my social worker, when I was running away and fighting, something that she could have done to help me was actually listen to me. The reason why I was put into a treatment center was because of my running away. And when I actually went into the treatment center, kids were there for different things, and I was only there for running away. And it was totally different, and I feel like I didn't belong there. And I try to explain to my social worker, the kids here, they're totally different. They got different issues than from what I had. And my social worker she listened to me, but she thought the best thing for me was to actually stay in the place. And it actually didn't help me because the girls there, they will pick on me and then I will fight. And I think that's why my behavior started, fighting, being the bad kid. And eventually the girls that would pick on me or I would fight, they started getting discharged, go somewhere. So the environment actually had calmed down. It was no drama, nothing going on. And I think when they left, I actually found myself, being just calm, not fighting. And then eventually I got discharged.
Be patient, give them time, and ask questions. Don't assume. Make sure you get to know the child before you read their profile. Their profile can tell you anything. If you don't know that child genuinely, not saying don't read the profile, read that profile, but still get to know the kid genuinely, understand the kid, how they feel and what they think or what they want to do. Because personally, the more connection that a foster parent have with a foster child, it'll be a better experience for the foster child. That way the child won't do whatever they want to do. They'll be more respected and be respectful. On top of that, a lot of foster parents won't have a lot of issues like runaways, property destroyed, having a lot of issues going on inside their house.
I would say practice patience first. Once you get older youth, like myself, sometimes we are self-driven, and sometimes it's harder for you to come back and pull us out of the rafters from creating an environment where we can actually thrive for only ourselves, not thinking about anybody else. So we live in this world of selfishness, and in a way, we don't know it. I never knew it until I met my partner, and I realized how selfish I really was. So you don't really know it until you have somebody else around. So I would say patience is the biggest thing, especially for older youth. And then another thing is just really making sure that before you even get a child, that you're invested just in the well-being of a child, generally. No specifics, just general. Not making promises that you can't keep, making sure that you have time, extra time allotted, because these are not your biological children. These are children who you will have to create relationships with. So making sure that you have that extra time to create these bonds, especially with the older youth, is very, very important because they've already been groomed or groomed themselves to make life more comfortable for them. And so we do things how we see it, and it's hard to do it otherwise. So I would say time is the only thing that will tell. I would say consistency is key. Make sure you have a plan and you actually stick to it. A lot of times, me being in foster care, as I said, I've been in over 30 homes. I did not have consistency. Make sure that you stick to really your guts. in your third eye, if you will, your second nature. Like, nothing is easy. So I will say that it's hard work. It is a roller coaster, but I will say one of the best rewards that you could get is saving a child's life.
My future goal is to eventually become either a veterinary or a nurse. Right now, I'm currently working as a nurse assistant, and I love my job. I love helping the elders. One of my other goals is to eventually buy my own house and be able to travel.
Well, I'm currently now working now, and with this job, I'm going to start saving up. I have goals that I want to achieve. One of the main goals is actually being an ATP flight, a commercial flight, a pilot. Might actually circle around and just go for my own license and get my own plane. But for the time being, I'll do the commercial. But that's one of my goals that I'm looking forward to reaching. And in the mix of that, I'm also trying to achieve different like aspects of like my life, like meditating more, trying to be more at peace with myself. Mostly learning more about my body, like a human's body, period. I don't want to keep taking medicine for a lot of pains and stuff. And I've been learning a couple of massages that you can do that would ease pains and certain headaches and stuff. So, that's the stuff that I'm looking forward to in the future. I'm thankful that I got this job because now I could save up to do a lot of these things. And one of them would be a car. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this.
My future plans are I actually start college or go back to college June 5th. I decided because of the Barkin Foundation, because I suffer from anxiety before us going on these little speaking engagements and excursions, and I've kind of gotten it a little bit under control. So I've decided I kind of want to do what you do. But I did think about like it on like a grand scale. Like there are social workers who go from like state to state and they travel all over, but they work for like private agencies or little small agencies. And I want to be a traveling social worker. And I did not know that existed. And it does. So I start college June 5th at the University of Maryland, the global campus. To go back, I haven't like stuck on a major yet. I don't know if it'll be social work or just general psych, but something to that extent. I do work for Amazon as a supervisor overnight. So I do have plans to like go up in Amazon and eventually transfer into different positions so I can work from home. But that's about it.